evening, Dr. Alka will be presenting the topic on public speaking. So we welcome you and enjoy the chat this evening. And I hope you brought your cup of coffee to join us as well. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Alka. Very, very interesting topic this evening.
Thank you so much, Miss Lucia. And I think our community and our parents should enjoy the series. The whole objective is that if we are able to educate mommies or daddies at home, then I think this is the best time because they're getting so much of time with the children within the four walls because the school has got inside the house. I think now mommy and daddies need to get very, very smart because these young minds need a lot of stimulation and excitement every day.
Absolutely, doctor. So let us begin with the first question. What is public speaking?
Thank you so much for the question, Ms. Licia. Public speaking is basically, it is an art of communication. So how do you have one-to-many communication when you as an individual is talking to a group of people? It is called public speaking. But before you start talking to many, one-to-one communication is also very significant because you need to know how to put your thoughts into words. The task becomes a bit more challenging when you're standing on a raised platform, because the minute you stand on that raised platform, the butterfly starts to come in and various kind of feelings start to happen. So today's session is primarily to understand the concept of public speaking and then try to help our growing public speakers to be more confident speakers. So public speaking in simple words, as per the dictionary, is communication from one to many.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. The second question, doctor, why is it important to teach public speaking? Why?
Very, very good question, Ms. Lucia. The reason I think it is very important that we teach everyone how to put your thoughts into words. I have seen many a times, be it children or adults, they face challenges in putting their thoughts into words, and in turn, they miss out on wonderful opportunities. Like this afternoon, I was interviewing a group of accountants and they were given a project. And believe it, the boy who had the best project done could not even utter a word about his own project. And I really felt very sorry that he just, because a lack of training. So once they don't know how to put their thoughts into words, it becomes very, very challenging. So I think it's important that we teach this art, and it is a skill which need to be practiced. And the more you practice, the better you get on it. So it is very significant for parents, especially to look into that. If you're nurturing a growing mind, that you make it a continuous habit while you're on the dining table or when you're interacting with your children, you ask them open-ended questions so they're given an opportunity to put their thoughts into words. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. The next question is, do you think that public speaking is an important component of leadership training?
It is very, very important component because as a leader, I think the best and the most important point is that your team understands you, and your team understands you better when you are able to put your thoughts into words. So now we have a test where we check the interpersonal skills of a child or an adult for that matter. And when we see the interpersonal skill, it is nothing but an ability to communicate your thoughts into words to the other person. And a lot of people score very, very low on it. Especially, there are a lot of children who become very intimidated, very shy, they're introverted. So they want to communicate, they want to be friends with others, but they don't really know how to do it. So when we talk about a leadership training, which is a very important program at Eduscan, we ensure that our children are given an opportunity to speak what comes to their mind confidently. There's nothing right or wrong up here. but are you able to put your thoughts in words? That is very, very important. And it has been seen that the people who are able to put the thoughts into words, they always make it to the top of the ladder. The reason being that other people understand what they're doing, how they're doing, and they are always able to logically reason out their actions. So very significant. And thinking actually is the basic process. So when I'm addressing a group of parents, let me tell you over here that, see, whatever your child is behaving, this behavior is connected to feeling, and this feeling is connected to thinking. And if the child does not know how to put this thinking into words, then it can really be misleading. So very important, and it's a simple training. I mean, it's not a rocket science. I think if you choose your children to be leaders, you must induct this training on day-to-day basis among your children, to ask them open-ended questions, why, when, how, about whatever they're doing. And once they learn to put their thoughts into words, it is an amazing life game. Thank you so much, Ms. Rishia.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. So now the next question is sort of fusing into the components of public speaking. You've sort of touched upon that, Doctor. Is there anything else that you'd like to highlight in particular about the components of public speaking?
Actually, public speaking, if we break it into pieces, the first and the foremost is the eye contact. Because if you look at the face of the person, the eyes speak a lot. So children need to be taught as the various components of public speaking, that, when you are speaking in a group, where should you be, making your eye? It should not be fixated at a point. You should not be looking at the ceiling. You should not be looking at the floor. What should be your eye level? What should be your eye angle? How should it be rotating? Why it is so significant that you complete a thought and then move your eyes. These are very specific training, because that makes your speech more powerful. So when we talk about the components, the first component is the eyes. So we call it eye contact. Then the second component is your voice modulation. If you're talking to people, if your voice does not modulate, if you speak in a monotone, that from very flat tone, from the beginning to the end, there is no variation, there are no gaps, there are no stops, then people are not interested in what you're talking. So it is very important. It is a continuum from 0 to 100, and the children are taught that what kind of an expression are you talking about. Accordingly, you need to modulate your tone. So we have a lot of activities in and around voice modulation, because voice is a very big component of public speaking. When we talk about the voice, we talk about the rhythm, we talk about the tone, we talk about pitch, the timbre. These are very, very minutest components. Like, some people speak very, very slow. Some people speak too fast that you can't even understand what they're trying to communicate. So we actually give them a passage to read and find out how many words per minute a child is reading. And then you start to start to work around the pace. How loud is the child? If somebody has a very screeching sound and is speaking very, very loud, the audience may or may not like it. So what is the right tone in which you communicate? What is the right pace in which you communicate? And over and above, I think when we talk about voice modulation, connecting the voice modulation to your expressions, like one statement, the same statement, if you're happy, how you will say it. If you're sad, how will you say it? If you're angry, how would you say it? If you're surprised, how would you say it? So say, for example, it is a holiday tomorrow. This is a statement. Now, if it is a happy child, they say, wow, it's a holiday tomorrow. He's very happy about it. Another child who actually had a picnic planned and suddenly it's declared a holiday and he says, it's a holiday tomorrow. So how your voice tone goes low, how your ending gets stretched, and surprise, it's a holiday tomorrow. You're surprised. You never thought it's a holiday tomorrow. So it is a same sentence where you can show your happiness, you can show your sadness, you can show your surprise. So that is the value of the tone. So when we talk about the various components, there are so many components. Where to give pause, when to give pause. When you give a pause, if you want to stress on something, if you want to make a point to be noticed, just take a break and then start. So everybody get very focused on that point. It's such a beautiful science actually. I would say this is a science, and that fine tuning makes you a great public speaker. There are a lot of people who are confident to speak, but there's some of them who are brilliant speakers. So it is something which children need to undergo. So there's so many components: gesture, posture, how do you stay, what are your gestures, how do you move your hands around, how do you move your whole body around, where are your hands, how do you even stand, are you shaking your leg, are you standing firm on your both the feet when you're speaking to public. These are some components which are very significant. Thank you so much for asking this particular question, because sometimes we as parents take it for granted and we think that it is something very simple, it automatically happens. Who needs to learn to speak? That's what gradually sets into you as you grow up. And I have seen people who know how to put their thoughts into words effectively are more successful than the ones who don't know. Thank you so much, Ms. Lucia.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. The next question again. Now, can you kind of give suggestions to our listeners as to how public speaking skills can be improved?
Well, that's a very good question. Thank you so much. As we've already spoken about the various components, parents, you have amazing role to play at home. You can play various games in and around these components. Now, when we talk about first, to make your child realize the continuum of the voice itself. So teach your children to take a long, deep breath, and then in one breath, how long can you stretch? It's a lovely game which one can play at the family level, that take a long, deep breath. And then you say, like everybody, let's see who has the longest. See, once you have a long stretch of a breath, then you can modulate and play around with the words better. So see that who's the best in the house, who's doing better, competing children, competing mama, dada with them, making teams and playing these games are very simple and very enjoyable. First. Second, when we talk about eye contact, a lot of children would speak to you, but their gaze is somewhere else. They don't look eye to eye. They're very hesitant to look. Either they look down or they look up. Or some of the children don't actually know that what is the right kind of an eye contact. Even too much of an eye contact isn't good. That you literally start staring at a person while talking. So I think parents can play these games at home. And now, parents, you have so much of a time with your lovely children at home. So if you start sharpening these skills with them, I'm sure it's going to go a long way. Not only this, there are tongue twisters. So try doing the tongue twisters, just typing tongue twisters on the internet, and you will have so many. And then let us see that brings the clarity. Your diction should be very clear. So what you're talking, how much of a clarity are you talking with? So when you speak in, if you go in a speed, do you mumble your words? Do you eat up the last part of the word? What happens? What is the clarity level? That is very significant and very important for us as adults to monitor. Why as adults? I would even say that if we are the parents, we need to improve on our school. Nobody is perfect. It's an art which can be learned. It's a science which need to be understood, and then at a family level need to be played. So a lot of things, even how many minutes per minute are you speaking, and this is a very cultural concept. Like some countries, some language you speak very, very fast. Some language are very, very soft. But just to monitor and understand and knowing your own pace of talking, somehow I always admire the speakers who speak gracefully and who speak not too fast, because then what happen is that if someone of another nationality is listening to you, who's not very comfortable with your diction, who's not very comfortable with your kind of the way you speak, also gets a time to process it. So, and I somehow believe I've seen the good speakers are the ones who speak with the kind of a poise which make the whole speech look very, very powerful. I think that's very important. And of course, on the dining table, you can have latest issues on which you can discuss. You can have some, depending upon the age of the child, you can have table topics, my best holiday, or what did I do today the best, what was my best moment of the day, or whatever. There are hundreds of topics. Not only that, I would also suggest we do these even in our leadership training camps, and you make it more fun. So use those what do we call it, um, grids, and make the grids with the multiple topics, and then you play the dice, and with the dice you see what number comes, and you move on to that topic. You can even make it for a kinesthetic child. Now, before I proceed further, I'll quickly tell you there are certain children who are visual, certain auditory, and certain kinesthetic. So depending upon who do you have at home, if you've already not done their brain mapping, I strongly recommend that you should do it, because that tells you about your child, who your child is, learning styles, personality types, IQ, EQ, CQ, VQ. It talks about thinking styles, multiple intelligence. It is a 42 pages long document, and I think every single child must have it so that you know your children better. But keep that aside. You play the games where children, so if it is a kinesthetic child, and you draw a grid on the ground, and you make a number, right, 1 2 3 4 5 6, whatever number of squares you have made, and you can have those many slips in a bowl, and you play with the dice. The child literally jumps onto that, and on that number stands and open a bowl and pick out what the topic is for me to speak on. 1 minute, talk for a minute on that particular topic. Topics can be very, very small, and as your child starts picking up the tray, you start making the topics complicated. So start with simple, simple topics, because esteem building is very important. The child with the greatest esteem will always be a good speaker. So you need to see that you don't crush the esteem of your child by making the topics very challenging and very difficult, and by the end of it the child is not able to handle that. So kindly keep the topics very, very low. And I think it's very important that we also add on functional communication, so that you can ask your child to be an interviewer for you, and whoever you are, say you are a mom or a dad or whoever, you sit down and your child will prepare a series of the questions which the child would like to ask you. And these are the practice sessions which can take place at home, and which will help your children to perform better and improve these skills at home. Thank you so much, Ms. Licia.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. Well, you've certainly given us so much food for thought and so many practical tips this evening in order to introduce and become a little bit more comfortable with public speaking. I would now, Doctor, if you agree, I think we can call upon our audience and see if they have any questions that they would like to share tonight.
Yes.
So we are very happy to receive some of your queries. Please go ahead. Thank you, dear community.
You can just, open your camera, unmute yourself, and you can ask, because I think this interests everyone. Feel free and ask question, because this whole forum is for the interest of our children, and we make sure as community we are able to support children and give them the best. And we at Eduscan very strongly believe that public speaking, the art of debating, the art of communicating is a very much needed art. So anybody who wants to ask a question, feel free and ask. There are lots of games which you can play with your children. Let me tell you at this point of time that a game like, say, for example, and but. So I and my brother was going on a cycle ride, and then let them continue. They need to use and, but, and make a sentence out of it. That is something very, very common. Or you start one statement and the second person and the third person will add on to a story. So make a story. So child says, once upon a time, I was in a jungle. And then the second person will take what happens in the jungle. And then third person, mummy picks up from there and the other sibling picks up from there. And it can go in a circle and you can take it to as long as, see, using the imaginative skills of the child. The child is able to imagine and fabricate that story from his own thoughts. So this is whole is an art of putting the thoughts into words, which is very, very important. There are loads of games which can be played, and you can even give them 5 words and ask them to use these 5 words and make a kind of a story out of it. So these are very, very good things. But I think somebody wants to ask a question. I see this iPhone camera being opened. Please feel free and ask. Ms. Lucia can ask because it seems that parents are taking their time.
Very good, Dr. Alka. Well, Dr. Alka, do you think we should invite our audience and our community to play a game along with us tonight?
Oh, that would be wonderful. Why not? Let all the parents unmute yourself. It's a brilliant thought. And let all of us play a game. So can I request you to open your cameras, please, quickly? And let's have it in action. So let's play a game together and see that formulating. Would you like to, which game, Miss Lucia, you suggest us to play?
Well, I would think that breathing game would be a good start.
Okay.
Holding our breath and holding a note or a sound as long as we can. That would be a good start, Doctor.
Are you all ready? Lovely. Yes. I see Deepa's camera is on. This is another camera which is on. Lovely. Jay Kumar, can I expect you to open your camera? Lovely. All right. So let's take a long, deep breath in and we will see that who will be able to take it the longest. Okay? Ready? Ready? Go. Wow, brilliant. Very, very good. So this is one of the activity which we were talking about. And let's now move on to playing a game where one person will say a statement and another person will continue with another thought, adding a new thought to it. And let's see. So let's start with Miss Lucia.
Thank you, Doctor. Okay, here we go. I'm excited. Tomorrow is Sunday.
All right, Mr. Jaykumar.
Sunday, I have plenty of commitments with my clients, so I have to complete. So I'm making some plans now.
Very, very good. Deepa, what would you like to say?
It's going to be a long, busy day because we have the PTM scheduled for tomorrow, though I'm looking forward to a positive and a healthy communication day.
Lovely, Deepa. Leena, would you like to say something? All right, Leena is muted and we have Rishikesh, would you like to say something, Rishikesh? Rishikesh?
Ma'am, I am student.
Doesn't matter. You can say it will be nice, Rishikesh. It will be nice to do it with a student. So Miss Lucia started a thought about tomorrow being Sunday. What would you like to share with us?
Tomorrow we have school and we'll have revision for exams.
All right, wonderful. And I think Sunday is going to be an amazing day because that is the first day of the week in UAE for all of us. And everybody looks forward to it. So you have loads of plan in your pocket. You have loads of things which you look forward to in a week ahead, isn't it? So Sunday is going to be a lovely day. So that is how we formulate it. Now let's say, Ms. Lucia, another game would you like to suggest us to play?
Certainly, Doctor. How about the use of the conjunctions then?
Okay, yes.
Okay, is that fine?
Perfectly. Perfectly.
All right, and the emphasis will be there. So, I am going to have dinner, but
Carry on, Mr. Jayaprakash.
But it has so much sweet, so I can't take it.
Sorry, your voice is lost.
Yeah, but it has so much sweet.
You
I can't
have
take
to
it.
end it with any conjunction. So you will say a statement and bring it to something and then leave. You can leave it with but, and.
Can you hear?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. I have to
So we
renew
start
my...
again afresh from Miss Lucia.
okay. I am about to have dinner, but
Yes,
It's
Jayaprakash.
already time for the dinner. So
All right, Deepa.
I think I should first finish a bit of my corrections so that I enjoy my dinner more. And
Harikesh.
I think I should do my homework before eating my dinner, but
I'm so tempted to eat because what my mummy has cooked is so interesting. She's already made my favorite dish. I wish I could eat that and then go and do my work. Miss Lucia, continue. So what we will do is we will have first round where all of us will use and we will use it and leave it. And then second round we will come to where we will say but and leave it on but. So let us see how does that go. All right. So, okay, Miss Lucia, you start.
I am going to put in a load of laundry and
Jayaprakash.
suddenly
No, it's perfectly all right. See, this is what happened with children.
yeah, correct.
It takes
Suddenly it's
time
not
to
coming in
think.
popped up.
It isn't
Yeah.
so easy. But as you will start playing, you will realize it will become an easy game. But it isn't so easy, whether it is children or adults. So it looks and sounds easy, but when we start to do it, we see it is a question mark. No worries, take your time.
Okay. So you can continue. I will join after this.
Okay, Deepa, ma'am.
And I think I should finish all my Saturday busy chores before I go ahead. And
Okay, Rishikesh.
and
Right? So now did you understand that as a listener and as a speaker?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I request somebody has joined from Eduscan? Miss Billy?
You will. Now,
Are you thinking, Rishikesh?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I could probably take it up. So see, when we are saying with Anne, so Deepa already talked about that she has so many things to do. And I can say that, and I want to go for a walk before I really finish my laundry. So that is how we keep adding and the thought into word. Fine. Now let's start with the sentence where we continue with a but. So, Miss Lucius, can you please start again?
Sure, Dr. Elsa. Thank you. Tomorrow is another day, but
Now Rishikesh has to continue.
But it's not. It's a weekday, and I have school. So I have school. But
Come on, now it is Jayaprakash Jayakumar's.
Yeah, I have to drive my vehicle, but
But Deepa ji,
But I should always keep in mind to be safe and not be in a hurry. But
lovely. But I think it is such a lovely weather. It is so exciting because I only see cool breeze, birds are chirping, flowers are dancing. I am excited for my day ahead. Thank you so much. So we were just giving you kind of a flavor how you're supposed to be playing with the children at home. And you see from the first trial to the last trial, we all were better off, isn't it? When we start doing this, it looks very simple, but believe it, it helps a lot of us how to put our thoughts into words. And public speaking is an art which can be learned, and people who execute it more, who practice it more, they come up with better suggestions. So I'm very happy for your participation today in this. And I always say that what you say is important, but how you say it is more important. So the minute you learn the art of public speaking, whatever you're saying, you can make it sound very, very powerful. There are some very, very powerful speakers of the world, but if you look at their performances, because the mannerism in which they speak, the right places where they give the pause. So first thing is that you should have enough thoughts. So these were the games to let you have a feeling of how important it is to have the flow of ideas in the mind. And then gradually when the flow of the ideas are there, then we start fine tune it. It is more like you take a student, it's like in statue. And you take a stone and you only chip off the unwanted part of the stone, and what emerges is a beautiful statue. So that is the art which we do. We first teach our children how to put the thoughts into words, and then if they have any faulty mannerism, if they are saying and the thoughts are not coming, then we just eliminate that. If they're going too fast, then we support them. If they're going too soft, then we support them. If they're having too screechy a sound, we support them. If their eye contact isn't good, we guide them. So these are the finer components. And at Eduscan, we have a leadership club. And that leadership club is only once in a week. And this concept of once a week is so powerful that every single child gets an opportunity to speak in a forum. We do have table topics. We teach them the fine tuning of what is eye contact, what is voice modulation, how can you make a structured speech. It is a very, very powerful leadership training which happens just on every Saturday. There's a batch at 3 to 4, and then there is a batch which is at 6 to 7. So any one of you who are interested, for yourself or for your child, you can join in that leadership club. And the best part is that this month it is going totally free, because we have a test which is brain mapping, about which I had spoken to you. So that is for $9.99. And if you're doing your test, you're getting 1 year membership totally free. So in case you're interested, 1 year membership is, that means you just spend 1,000 dirhams, you get your 40 pages long report, which is your brain mapping report. and you also get 1 year of a membership, which is totally free for your leadership club. I very strongly recommend to an adult or a child, where we not only look into the public speaking, but we also take care of your thinking skills, your creative thinking, your deductive reasoning, your analytical reasoning, and we have some amazing games which we play. Thank you so much for all of your time this evening to be a part of this forum. Thank you so much, Miss Lucia, for your lovely
You're very welcome. Thank you, dear community. Thank you, Dr. Alka. And until the next time, we'll meet again with
So we will
another
have-
dynamic topic.
Yes, and we have the series every alternative week. So next week we have Empower the Determined, where we are picking up the speakers, international speakers, to talk about the children with challenges. So any one of you who have any family which has a child with a challenge, tell them to connect the same time, 6:30, in this forum, where I will be interviewing Dr. Smita Avasthi. She's the Director General of the Behavior Intervention Movement in India, and we are going to talk about how to help children, and she will be sharing a lot of tools. Please share this information with the families and the friends. And then the next Saturday, it is going to be again a leadership series. So keep your this 30 minutes free for us. Look forward to do this good, lovely job together. Thank you.
Thank you.
So long.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.